I'm going to give you the best weight loss plan for you to follow as a woman, including the secret that helped me keep off 200 pounds and end my weight loss struggles for good. So make sure you stick around to the end. My name is Laura, and welcome to one of the best places for you to receive the tools, the wisdom, and the proper guidance to help you create the health and wellness journey that you deserve to have and end your weight loss struggles for good. As women, our weight loss journey will look drastically different than the fellas. Statistics state that women generally have a way more difficult time with the weight loss process for numerous reasons, like menopause, our metabolic rate, and how we respond and react to our emotions, just to name a few. Now, this is no excuse, but it does mean that 90% of the time, our approach needs to look different in order for us to get the results that we are wanting, which I'm sure in your case that the results that you're looking for are the long-lasting ones. So it's my goal to help you break free from the social norm, teach you exactly how, so you can finally reach the success that you are looking for. Nutrition makes up 80% of the weight loss process. I'll be going over what makes up the remaining 20% later on in the video. So with that being said, it's important for you to understand what a healthy diet looks like for you. As a woman, we need to really understand that over-restricting ourselves when it comes to reaching our goals is extremely counterproductive. We need to know the importance of creating balance and sustainability. As I said in previous videos, managing our stress and anxiety levels is crucial. When we choose to do diets like Atkins, keto, slim fast, or some crazy 1,200 calorie diet, and they don't fit our specific lifestyle or our individual body's needs, that tends to create even more stress and anxiety. Not only that, over-restriction can cause fatigue, nutrient deficiencies, irritability, self-blame, and even depression. Have you ever felt this way when dieting in the past? Let me know in the comments. So with knowing this, the first step is making sure that your weight loss plan isn't eliminating whole food groups. You want to make sure that you are incorporating 80% nutrient-dense foods, like healthy fats, fruits, veggies, whole grains, legumes, and healthy protein, and allowing 20% for foods that you really do enjoy. The largest percentage, which is the 80%, will help with making sure that you feel satisfied and energized, because now you are receiving the vitamins and nutrients that you need, while the 20% will provide you with the enjoyment, fulfillment, and more freedom, which in turn motivates you to reach your goals. Now, although tracking your daily calories isn't necessary in order for you to reach your weight loss goals, it can definitely help. Doing so will provide you with a better understanding of what your daily intake should look like in order for you to reach your overall goals. Now, I do understand that this could be a trigger for some people. I get that. So whether you use a food scale, a tracking app, measuring cups or spoons, you will need to get over the fact that it's time for you to be more conscious and aware of what you are feeding your body. Because majority of the time we think we aren't eating much, but when we actually break it down and gain a better understanding of what we are eating, 9 times out of 10 is either way over, or in some people's cases, way under. Food is fuel, especially with us with dealing with our metabolism issues. In order for our bodies to work optimally and support the weight loss process, we also need to make sure that we are giving it enough fuel. So being aware of your portions is essential. And not only that, it'll give you opportunity to really understand what foods are going to keep me full and satisfied. And and 9 times out of 10, when you are more full and satisfied, giving it the nutrients that it needs, and understanding, okay, these are the portions that I should be eating in order for that to happen, it does help reduce snacking. It's also going to help you cut back on the 2 main ingredients that cause food addictions: salt and sugar. And what happens is when you cut back from off of those 2 main ingredients, your body will slowly stop craving those foods and start craving nutrient-dense foods. As women, we really need to start taking this part serious, because salt and especially processed sugar are the leading causes of inflammation, high blood pressure, gastric cancer, kidney stones, stroke, fatigue, and hormonal imbalance. Now, creating this balance can look different for everyone, so I'll give you guys a couple examples. So one lady might enjoy a glass of champagne and a couple of pieces of milk chocolate at the end of each day. And because she makes sure that her daily intake is 80% nutrient dense. They now are able to have that glass of champagne and that milk chocolate without the guilt and still be able to be moving forward towards reaching their goals. Now, let's say we have another lady who enjoys having her bagel and cream cheese every morning. And she also likes to enjoy her sweet red wine and her chocolate in the evening. Now, this woman might want to make sure that every meal that she eats throughout the day is nutrient dense. She also might want to consider finding a bagel that offers more nutrients in it, maybe a whole wheat, something that's going to give her more fiber, as well as finding a substitute for her cream cheese. Maybe she'll get a cream cheese that is less calorically dense. She also should probably consider having a red wine like a Merlot instead of the sweet one. Now, this is what I call the swap method. Finding alternatives to the foods that you enjoy so you are not feeling like you are having to over restrict, and still making sure that you are getting in your nutrients, enjoying your process, and still able to reach your goals. Now, you don't have to swap out everything and go crazy with low carb this, fat free that, low calorie this. That is not necessary. It's the small adjustments that make the biggest difference. Now, we'll add this. If you find yourself feeling highly triggered when eating or drinking certain foods, first, it's good to gain an understanding as to why. Then, when you are clear about the reason, you want to approach it in a different way so you're not repeating that cycle. Now, what this looks like is you may need to spend some time away from those certain foods and drinks until you have mastered your new response to them. I'll use myself as an example, okay? I knew that liquor and ice cream were extremely triggering for me. With that being the case, I made the decision to spend some time away from those foods. I didn't say that I never was going to eat them again. I just took a break till I felt strong in them, till I had mastered the new response towards them. So if they were in the house prior, I'd be drinking and eating it all until it was gone. So with having them out of my house and spending some time away from them, it allowed me to practice my new response. It allowed me to build up the strength to be around those different foods and not have the urge to overindulge in them. Taking those steps and practicing, building up that self-discipline, self-control throughout the process, I was able to integrate them back into my lifestyle with more control. As women, we naturally don't gravitate to protein, but it's definitely important. Now, all your protein doesn't need to come from meat products. Okay, and I'll give you other options so you guys are aware of them. Adding in more protein into your daily intake can help with increasing your metabolism. It helps with satiety. It's good for your bones, lowers your blood pressure. And back to that bones situation, I'm going to talk about that a little later, but that's very important because us as women, we have a higher chance of getting osteoporosis. Okay, so it's definitely important for us to make sure that we are getting in enough protein. Now, it reduces cravings and it helps maintain your weight loss. So now let's go ahead and get into the other options outside of meat that you can try to implement to help increase your protein level. Of course, there's the supplements like protein powders and protein shakes, but there's also plant-based options like tofu, tempeh, edamame, lentils, chickpeas, and the other one that's off the top of my head is quinoa. So that's just to name a few. You want to know what works best for you when it comes to timing out your meals. You can do this by identifying when you are the hungriest and when you are normally not, or when you prefer a snack as opposed to when you aren't don't have that snacky feeling going on. This will help you plan your meals accordingly by making sure that your heaviest meal or your largest meal, your more calorically dense meal will be at that time when you are the hungriest. For the lady that likes her wine and her chocolate in the evening, plan your snacks accordingly as well. If you are a morning eater, you might want to practice intermittent fasting. If you want to be flexible with this tool, that's fine too. For example, if you are a morning eater during the week because you realize that it helps more with your energy and your focus and you're up earlier, so that works for you, then you might not intermittent fast during the week. But then on the weekend, when you're sleeping in more late, you want to make sure that your meals are just, held in between a certain window to help with you stay within your caloric range, then do intermittent fasting on the weekends. It's okay to be flexible. Remember, you are creating a lifestyle that you can adhere to, okay? Not what Sarah, Melissa, and Courtney are doing, what works best for you. That's the most important thing right now. when you're creating the best weight loss plan. Give yourself permission to finally break free from the social norm, okay, and the concepts that are restraining you, and finally create the journey that you can see yourself doing for the long haul. So as a woman, incorporating exercise into our plans has a lot more benefits than just weight loss. Matter of fact, because it only accounts for 20% of your weight loss process, it doesn't need to be your primary focus in order for you to lose weight. But it does assist with the process. And we will go over exactly how and what your workout plan should look like. The benefits of incorporating exercise outside of assisting us with our weight loss journey: it reduces stress, depression, and anxiety, lowers blood pressure, enhances mental performance and work productivity, fights addiction, boosts your immunity, prevents muscle loss, and improves your sex life. So if for nothing else, incorporating some form of physical activity could be of benefit even if weight loss wasn't on the table. The two main factors that should be taken into consideration when creating your plan are: what are your overall physical goals, and enjoyability. Now many factors do come into play when it comes to exercise, because some people have fear, people have anxiety around working out. But hopefully with the tips that I provide later on in this video will help put all of that to rest. And so I want you to ask yourself, what is your overall goal physically? Is it to lose weight and keep your curves? Is it to lower your blood pressure? Is it just to lose weight? Or is it a combination of all three? Whatever your goals are, I recommend that you do exercises that support that. For example, so if you're wanting to lose weight, but still make sure that you are keeping your curve, you're gonna wanna focus on more weights and less cardio. If your primary focus is to lower your blood pressure, then you might want to stick to more aerobic style workouts. If it's just to lose weight, you might be okay with just making sure that you are getting in your daily step count. If it's a combination of the three, you're going to want to make sure that you're incorporating calisthenics and some form of strength training. Now, I personally feel that all women should be incorporating some form of resistance training. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go into the gym and pump a whole bunch of iron. That's not the case. Resistance training can be done with exercises that require you to use your own body weight: squats, push-ups, planks, burpees, lunges, crunches, leg lifts, ski jumps, chair dip, mountain climbers, sit-ups, squat jumps, step up, and that's just to name a few. I won't go over the whole list, but you get where I'm coming from. For a beginner, I would recommend you do 2 lower body days and 1 to 2 upper body days and 1 full body day. Choose about 4 to 5 workouts for your circuit, doing each exercise for 30 to 60 seconds. Take a 20-second rest before moving on to the next exercise, and then repeat that circuit 4 to 6 times. Now again, this is just a recommendation. You can always Google some different workouts, go on YouTube, join a class. Remember, the choice is yours. This is just giving you guys an idea of what it can look like. I want to talk about why I recommend that all women should get in some form of resistance training. As a woman, we are more likely to suffer from osteoarthritis and osteoporosis. So incorporating some form of strength training or resistance training can help lower the risk as well as improve some of the symptoms. Let's go over the enjoyability factor. Enjoying the physical activities that you decide to incorporate is important. So I want you to think about, what do you naturally like to do? Are you a swimmer, or do you like more of the class setup? Do you prefer walking, Pilates, yoga? Do you like working out outside? Do you like working out alone? Do you like a combination of it all? All these things should be looked over. And if you have no idea, you need to get your butt out there and try some new things out. Don't be afraid to explore. It's never too late to figure out what works best for you. And when you find it, don't allow anyone to tell you otherwise, or that you need to be doing this, or you shouldn't be doing that, or that season is over. You are figuring out what works best for you. If it works for you and it feels good for you, do it. So I will say this though, it's always good to throw in a little challenge here and there to bring out that inner lioness. Trust me. It will not only increase your confidence and your motivation, it will also increase your well-being. So say if you're doing a class and you're doing the beginner version of it, for the first 3 months, and there's another one that offers a more advanced one, try the advanced class. It's okay to always go back to the beginner one if you don't feel comfortable doing the advanced one, but 9 times out of 10, you're gonna be ready. Okay, because the more and more you do something, and that one, the challenge is what's gonna keep you motivated Trust me. So be willing to try the new advanced class, or, pick up your weights a little bit. If you're not doing weights, maybe try weights. If you're doing a lower weight, maybe increase your weight. Challenge yourself just a little bit. You don't have to go hardcore, balls to the wall, but try to take a step outside of your box, your comfort zone, just here and there. Trust me, it's a game changer, especially for us women. We are meant to roar. I know y'all seen Woman King. Don't play. But if you're not ready to roar right from the beginning, please know it's okay to take baby steps as well. Take your time. This is not a race. The keys are knowing your goals, design a plan that fits you and your comfort levels that you can enjoy. So now for the mystery. What is the secret part to the best weight loss plan for women and the biggest part of my success? Now, if you decide to click off of this video right now, you can follow the first 2 parts of this plan and see some results. But if you do not include this last part, it will not be long lasting. Now, if you did stick around, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and push that like. It supports me and my channel and allows me to reach even more beautiful people like yourself. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe so you can continue to receive content like this on the regular. So now, the secret. Now, like I said previously, as women, we suffer severely in this department. Because of that, it has affected our health and our weight loss journeys. Women are 3 times more likely than men to experience common mental health issues. We are more likely to be diagnosed with anxiety and depression. I'm sure I don't have to go over how that affects the way we take care of our bodies or the lack thereof. Matter of fact, and let me know in the comments, I'm almost 100% sure that those who are watching this video right now are currently or previously struggling with some type of emotional eating. How do I know that? Not only because I know who my content is catering to, and I know my audience, I also am aware that over 40% of those who are struggling with their weight are struggling with emotional eating as well. Whether it be stress-related and or unresolved emotional trauma that triggers sadness, depression, anxiety, fear, and or loneliness, the main coping mechanism outside of alcohol and drugs is food. Yet this isn't mainstream. This isn't what you hear when you scrolling on TikTok and Instagram and things like that. And no shade, but it needs to be brought up more so people can start resolving the issue. And to me, honestly, it's sad. I can't tell you how many consultations and one-on-one clients that I've worked with in the past, and we had to tear down those barriers and blockages and old teachings on how they were going to be successful with their weight loss journey, because it's so much bigger for them. It's so much more that they should be focusing on. They shouldn't be completely focusing on that aspect, because yes, it's a part of it, but their work, majority of it needs to be done from the inside out. So first you want to ask yourself, why am I responding in this way when it comes to me being emotionally triggered? And how can I respond differently so that I don't react in the same way later on? Then your job is to continuously practice that new response. The more you practice, the easier it gets. At first, you might not succeed. You just might emotionally spiral even after you have written down or you know what your new response is going to be. That's normal, but that doesn't mean that you give up. That means that you dig a little deeper and you go at it again. I want you to think of it as a pro athlete. They weren't perfect at every single play. They had to practice and practice some more. They had to train and train some more till they were perfect at that play, or until they had that play down. And this is no different. The time it takes an individual to work through the emotional and mental instabilities, and to actually create and have that new response, like clockwork, depends on and to completely be done with the emotional eating depends on how many situations that they need to become more emotionally mature at dealing with. How many boundaries do they need to set? How many different situations need to be taken care of and addressed? How many inner conflicts need to be resolved? Because honestly, you might have multiple things that send you into a emotional spiral. I know I did. But the key is to be aware and conscious of those things so that you can address them accordingly by asking those 2 questions I stated in the beginning, and then proceeding with the practice. That's where I see a lot of people fall short at. They know what to do, or they're given what to do, but they're not practicing it. It has to be practiced. It has to be practiced. I practiced and practiced and practiced my new response until I had it. Now, I no longer struggle with emotional binge eating. That's a thing of the past. I no longer lean on food to cope. That is a thing of the past. What is happening is you are becoming a pro at mastering your emotional responses. So when you're on that field, you will win. So this is where different techniques and support comes into play, like meditation, breathing exercises, coaching, journaling, herbal substances, mantras, tapping, nervous system regulating, inner child activities, self-care, chakra balancing, aroma or sound therapy, and that's just to name a few. This will help you become more present and aware of what you need to overcome. It allows you to get in front of that emotional and mental spiral to prevent you from responding as you have in the past. I want you to really understand this. Your response to the mental and emotional trigger is what leads you to use food as a coping mechanism. So if you get in front of that by learning and practicing how to respond differently, there is no need for that particular mechanism. Self-discipline and self-control is cultivated through dedicating yourself to your individual process and doing what it takes to succeed, whether that is doing research and applying what you've learned, whether it is practicing your new methods, whether it is taking this plan and starting it today, or even hiring someone to guide you. But even then, you still have to do the work. My one-on-one coaching sessions are open currently, and I'll leave the information in the description box. I'll also leave the information in regards to enrolling into my weight loss master's course. So make sure you check that out. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys have any questions, make sure you leave them in the comments. I love you all, and I'll talk to you soon.